Hello, thank you everyone for coming today to our great webinar dedicated to how to build successful delivery strategy using Jmix Foundation and Jmix technologies. Well, I see not so many attendees right now. Maybe this is because we are on holidays already, and this was not a great idea to arrange a webinar in June. But this is the last webinar for the first half of 2025, dedicated to different Jmix features. And I'm glad to share very interesting Jmix functionality with you. So let's start. Today, I'm making the webinar basically alone, but I'm with a virtual friend named Ben, and you can see him on the screen. I decided to start with a little story. Let's say it's a hyperbolic story describing the situation in which some of you maybe somewhere could appear. Yeah, and this is a story of a person, a seasoned software engineer, who decided to make his own product. And he was quite successful. He built a risk management app according to some local regulations. And he found the niche, he found the product market fit, and he acquired 10 customers quite fast, just in 9 months, sorry. So finally, he reached the positive cash flow, and things seems to be quite good. But he started to meet preliminary issues with adoption and recognizing growing customization requests. I think that you may know that, especially when you go to business B2B area, applications for businesses, you can meet a request for customizations quite often. Yeah? After a certain small period, maybe 6 months, Ben could easily look like you can find on the screen. What's the reason behind? The reason behind is that just one minor logic fix had to be patched across 10 code forks, and he needed to implement 10 risky releases. What's worse, he found a bug in the core logic, and he needed to fix every fork. So it's also very hard to reuse features happening across different products between them and to evolve the products itself. So there is no room for growing, and all time spent on the product, spent on the patching, not delivering new features to the audience. I don't know whether this situation is familiar for you, but me personally met such kind of a situation more than 10 years ago when I just started my personal internship in the technological area with delivering the digital product to my customers. In former ages, this was a product dedicated to resource planning for manufacturing. Why does this happen every time? This happens because by default, developers and developer teams, they've got used to start a new branch for every client. They arrange a dedicated database for the client. They make changes in those branches according to customer requests. And as the infrastructure becomes more and more complex, they switch to fully manual deployment, and this slows down the progress of developing the product and scaling across the customer base. We call this type of software development lifecycle as copy, paste, and pray. Sounds funny if you look at it from other side, but if you're inside, it's quite stressful, you know. And this is the topic which we are going to unwrap today: how to avoid such kind of failure, such kind of pitfalls in the beginning of your own business when you start a digital product. This webinar should be useful for those who deliver digital products or provide multi-client internal systems. For those who are trying to find the balance between customizations and maintainability. For sure, if you are with Jmix, I guess that you have limited access or no front-end developers, and you are considering Jmix technology as a foundation for your digital product, existing or planning one. Yeah, you may consider using Jmix for your next project. Well, for those of you who are just entering the Jmix world, I want to make a small recap what Jmix is. By far, Jmix is a rapid web application development platform, which perfectly fits Java teams, Java-heavy baked teams. And it includes three major parts. The first part, the foundation, is the Jmix framework. This is a high-level abstraction providing easy manipulation with data, manipulating with UI, and manipulating with security. And security, not just assigning the roles and permissions, but it also arranges all the activities, all the so it totally secures your application across all the instances of all the entities of your data model and UI interactions. The second big part of Jmix is high productivity environment integrated in professional IDE. Its name is Jmix Studio. By far, Jmix Studio is a plugin for IntelliJ IDEA. And to deliver your products really fast, you need some batteries, and they are included as a package of Jmix, as a part of Jmix. We call them add-ons. You can find them on the marketplace. Those add-ons, they bring you some pre-built functionality for different integrations, for system utilities, and for business functionality such as reporting, Kanban board, or whatever. And in combination, those three parts, they transform even a single backend developer to a person who is able to deliver the whole full stack application, which can easily fit their requirements of modern enterprise web applications. And this happens quite fast. And on this slide, you can see a short overview of different popular delivery models which can be supported by Jmix. We define three major types. Their names are extension model, software as a service model, and a self-hosted model. I assume that software as a service model is a well-known one, but maybe you don't know that Jmix have some default add-ons which can be integrated in your project to lift your project from a startup stage. But I guess that you may have less knowledge about the extension capabilities and about the capabilities to arrange a dedicated repo to be used inside your customers, inside your customer infrastructure. Those one I named a self-hosted model. Yesterday, when I finalized the presentation, I realized that self-hosted is not the very nice type for this type of delivery strategy, but I will uncover it in details a little bit further. So in this matrix, you can see to whom each delivery model is perfectly reasonable to. Yeah, so for the development shops, we recommend to use an extension model. For product teams delivering products to SMB segment, we recommend to use software as a service model. And for teams who are providing software solutions, products for regulatory industries such as public services, for example, or heavy industries or financial services, sometimes you can consider a composite project to get better control over code and to be able to deliver the code to the customer side. And now let's dive into each of these delivery models to identify their distinctive features and to help you evaluate which type of delivery model fits you the best. If you're once again considering Jmix as the foundation for your existing product or for your next product. Let's start with the core extension model, or extension model as it is. On the screen, you can see the possible structure of your original application. The original application is the application made by Jmix. Yeah, if you started doing it with Jmix. By default, it includes a set of Jmix core subsystems and public add-ons, which I've mentioned before, such add-ons as reports, such add-ons as OpenID Connect, and others. Yeah, And the application runner model is optional, and the application runner model is included in this original application along with your application core add-on or an application core subsystem. Splitting applications into a set of subsystems makes it more manageable and allows for reusing functionality across your existing customer base, existing or the future one. A subsystem is a separate component of a Jmix application providing some specific functionality. In Jmix world, there are basically two categories of subsystems. The first category is a core subsystem, which provides system-level functionality, and they are included by default in most of your projects. When you start a blank template project of Jmix, you have these Jmix dependencies or these Jmix subsystems included. And the optional subsystems named add-ons, they can be included in the project on demand. Jmix add-on consists of one or multiple functional models. It can also depend on other subsystems depending on your existing use case. This allows you to implement two approaches. The first, which you may know, you can pack some common or usable functionality in the add-on and integrate it into your project on demand. For example, as we usually do with like reports or some custom integrations. So you can make a Jmix add-on, which, for example, can retrieve national currency exchange rates and easily integrate it in your project and in your future projects. So when your currency exchange data provider makes changes in the API, you don't need to make changes across all your projects. So you need to implement changes only in this add-on. By far, all changes are performed in this dedicated model, which serves the needs of getting the actual currency exchange rates. Will be updated on the build phase in all your projects that use this add-on as a dependency. To create a new Jmix add-on, you should use the Jmix Studio functionality. You may know that when you're creating a new Jmix project, Jmix Studio asks you what kind of a template should be implemented, and in the list of templates, you can find an add-on template which will initialize this type of the project, for this additional functionality. The second approach, which is baked by Jmix modular design, is that you can extend the add-on functionality in the specific client application without affecting the code of the original application core. As you can see on the screen, in the particular client A application, the application model A extends the original application core functionality and replaces it with client-specific code. Those changes can be in the data model, in the business logic, or in UI. This allows you to create applications that can be customized for a particular industry or a particular customer without modification of the original project, of the original product, not project. To achieve this, you need to put the main application functionality into one add-on. On the slide, this add-on is called your application core add-on. So once again, if you have some core functionality, you can pack it into the add-on, deliver this add-on as a binary artifact to your client A application, and make an extension inside of this client A application using Jmix functionality. To get it in a more clear way, let's imagine the following situation. For example, you have a CRM application, some custom CRM application. I don't know whether it's niche CRM or it's this is a niche CRM, and this CRM includes some set of entities, business logic, UI, and roles. And using this CRM core backed as an add-on, you can deliver it to the client A and client B, and implement extensions inside those instances of your products. For client A, you may see we can make extensions for deals and UI, and it implement some specific roles. And for client B, we can make approval flows or make some dashboard, which is required by this existing customer. By far, you can still modify the core of your product and deliver the new functionality and new features to all of your products in their in their particular instances. What's more important is that when you will make builds for the CRM client A, for example, and you will see some conflicting changes. For example, you've made some changes, you've made some modifications in the extension of the deals, which are making conflict with the new updates of the CRM core. You will see them on the compile phase, and you will be able on the compile stage, and you will be able to fix them. Yeah, so it will be very easy to maintain those changes on the customer applications instances. You can find more information about this extension model if you will go via the link, which is shown in the QR code in the left corner of the slide. And you can see also the implementation details, how you can make these extensions using Jmix mechanisms. Especially you will find there the information about how you can make the extensions of Jmix UI descriptors and controllers, and how you can modify the business logic of your of the data model and the business logic of your customer applications. Wrapping up, I should say that you can use this model if client-specific customizations are expected and they are quite heavy enough. When you expect to provide long-term maintainability of this product, and what's most useful is that this type of delivery can enable product customizations provided by third parties. Picture this: you have a digital product which is delivered worldwide and needs some customizations according to customer needs in different countries. And as this product is built with Jmix and you deliver it as an add-on, as an extension within this extension model to some country or some region or some industry, you can find a local partner in this area who will be able to make modifications or extensions of this core functionality according to some dedicated industry niche or to some dedicated country requirements. For example, they have some local regulations needed to be integrated there in this area. And this is very easy because Jmix is a well-known technology, and this partner or this third party can easily access their documentation and learn how to do this. Yeah? So he doesn't need to learn everything from scratch or to find information somewhere. But for sure, you need to supply additional documentation about your API of your core model to this partner, or provide additional training about your product functionality to those third parties. So you should keep in mind this useful feature of core extension model that you can pack your functionality in as the core extension add-on and deliver it to all your customers and provide on-site customizations with these extension mechanisms. Once again, here is the QR code where you can find the full technical documentation about how this can be done. In what cases this can be useful? Once again, this is useful when you build a niche solution or you provide a horizontal solution which should be adopted to certain industries, for example, by partners or by the customers or by yourself. You have not so many customers in your niche. Well, What if your customers do not require much customizations? What if you can reduce the amount of customizations performed for every customer who is using your service? In this case, you can adopt the SaaS delivery model or software as a service delivery model. And I suppose that most of you know this model quite well. But you may not know that Jmix originally supports this delivery model out of the box. For those of you who have lack of information about what does SaaS means, this is a slide demonstrating what's the difference between those two models: a single application per tenant model and a multi-tenant application. In the first case, you may see that we arrange, or you arrange, a certain instance, a certain single instance of your application for every customer. And all of the end users of this customer, they access their single dedicated instance of your application. That means that they are working in an isolated environment and with an isolated database, and it serves the dedicated customer needs. But if the customers do not require much customizations across the customer base, across all customer base, this can be unified, and you can allow to access your application via the single instance. So you can arrange the single instance of your application and provide the shared instance of the application, the shared database, and the shared logic across all tenants. In this case, we call those customers tenants. Yeah, so they have some things shared inside this application, and some business logic and data for common usage. Yeah. Nice thing is that all of this functionality can be provided out of the box within by the Jmix add-on. It is absolutely free. You can find it in the Jmix marketplace. Its name is reasonably called multi-tenancy. And after you will integrate this multi-tenancy add-on into your application, it will allow you to separate data, business logic, and permissions, roles and permissions between tenants, and it will be on your side which type of those entities in the data model, business logic, and permissions you will split between the tenants. And it is quite easy to be done, let's say, on the beginner stage. Yeah, because when you go to deployment and when you start to scale your application, you will meet certain amount of technological issues, but from the very beginning it will be very easy to test your idea. To shift the moment when you will need to go into technological details to enhance, where you will need to enhance your application from the technical perspective, Jmix provides a certain amount of capabilities which also serve the multi-tenancy needs. So they can be splitted between the tenants, yeah, by default. So you can do the generic filtering, or the filtering of the data, the configurations of this filtering between the tenants. This is the default capability of this functionality, Jmix functionality. Reports can be also split between the tenants. Dynamic attributes also they are also tenant specific, so you can arrange a certain amount of attributes for a dedicated tenants, and another tenant won't see the same set of additional attributes. You can split BPM models, so you can make customized BPMN workflows between the tenants. And since the next Jmix release, Jmix 2.6, we also support notifications splitted by the tenants. To get more information about how this can be done on real use cases, you can check the Jmix Bookstore demo application. You can see the link in the right corner of this slide. This is a template application, which is multi-tenant by default. If you will access this application, it will generate a tenant, a dedicated tenant for your demo purposes. You can download also this the code of this project from the GitHub repository and check how this functionality is implemented. You can also check the recent webinar which we performed together with our client, with the company which used Jmix to deliver their first project, SaaS product named CertiKeeper. You can find the link to the webinar in the right corner of the slide. This webinar also demonstrates which kind of applications can be done by default Jmix functionalities in the multi-tenant mode, because the application is running as a SaaS application without too many technical complexities, because still we are running on defaults. They are running on defaults within this product. Well, when does multi-tenancy add-on, and especially this software as a service model, serves you the best? First of all, it can serve you if your go-to-market strategy and your business models and your product business model fits this type of delivery. Yeah, you may know that SaaS is very popular and it's quite easy to understand in terms of recurring revenue, but it is more, let's say, connected to the small and mid-sized business. I can say that if you go to the banking or financial services, sometimes it will be quite hard to integrate SaaS services to those companies. Yeah, but if we'll speak about some manufacturing houses, yeah, I think that SaaS model can fit quite well. It also looks nice when the shared infrastructure is acceptable. Yeah, and once again, when the client customizations are limited, because if all your tenants will ask for complex customizations, your SaaS product will become more complex, and it will be much more difficult to maintain this product by far. So after some period, you will need to split it and make the architectural make its architecture more complex. And I guess that the limited amount of backend developers won't be enough. Yeah, so it's not a Jmix story so far. So let's go to the last type of the delivery model. I named this model as self-hosted model, but once again, it doesn't perfectly reflect the situation because it represents the story when your customer wants heavy customizations on site, and he wants to work in the isolated environments. And what's more, your customer wants to make the build himself. These situations can often be met in highly regulated industries, and especially in public services industries, where your customer even asks to get the source code of your application, or we call it source available. A whole product, but a set of features which you pack for the dedicated customer, and I can say that it looks like more like a project. Yeah, so it has a long phase of adoption. It has a long list of customization features, but what's nice, you have a long period of support in it. Yeah, so in this case, your business is more relies more on support, yeah, on long-running support. And in these cases, you can also meet a lot of custom integrations, because when we speak about delivering your product inside the customer's infrastructure, you need to bring also integration extensions to connect to his internal services. In this case, it's hard to avoid code duplication at all. delivering physical repository to a client make it mandatory to arrange a dedicated project repository and further maintain it. But using a combination of Jmix modular project approach and Jmix composite project setup, you can reduce the amount of code duplication. Today, we've already discussed the option of splitting the Jmix project into the set of subsystems, or we call them add-ons in the Jmix world. On top of that, I want to put more attention on the composite project concept. You can find also details about this composite project concept in the Jmix documentation. You can find the link to this composite project documentation in the right corner of this slide. A composite project concept, basically it's a Gradle-based setup where a main application includes multiple reusable models, or let's say other Jmix projects, as local dependencies. And composite project concept allows you to assemble an application per client from shared or custom modules without duplicating the whole project. Shared models or custom models can be developed and tested separately, even by isolated teams. So you can split your whole project into separate functionalities with a bounded context and develop them separately. What's the reason behind of separating the project into small models? The reason behind that is that it's easier to maintain, so it's easier to make customizations or extension of these models. And on the client side, the person who is responsible for delivery can organize a private Jmix repository and implement the assemble of the composite project built on their side using the same feature. So once again, you can find more technical details about this composite project concept on the customers via the link in the QR code. To say it easier, instead of making a one original application core add-on, which I've demonstrated in my first delivery model called extension model, you can split this core model into separate models and develop them separately. And on the phase when you are going to deliver your product to the customer side, you can assemble the whole feature, the whole product, by using this composite project. So you can develop separately, but assemble and deliver it as a whole using this composite project concept. To compare those two approaches, a traditional approach and a Jmix project approach with the composite concept, I want to point the following benefits. First of all, you keep a clean core separated by a certain amount of models with a limited amount of models with the customizations or extensions. And the best feature is that you can configure a composite build per client depending on the scope. If a particular customer doesn't need all the modules, you can just exclude them when you make a composite build for this dedicated customer. You should keep in mind also that if you use our add-ons supporting low-code functionality, such as dynamic attributes or reports, you can also reduce customizations per client using these runtime configurations. Please be aware that our low-code add-ons, let's say, that the configurations of our low-code add-ons can also be exported and imported between different customers. So you can make an export of configurations and store it locally if you want to secure the features for the existing customers, for the existing customer. That's all about the types of product delivery supported by Jmix. I do not mention here a traditional approach when you just make a Jmix project as it is and deliver it to your customer, but this was the primary scenario with Ben. And here is the matrix which demonstrates the pros and cons of different approaches in terms of benefits and costs. As you can see, the extension model provided by Jmix is the most balanced approach. Yeah, so when you have not so many customers and you do not dream about scaling on thousands of customers, but still you need to provide customizations per every customer per every customer instance. You can use the core. You can use this approach when you arrange a core functionality as the add-on and provide extensions of this core functionality per a single client instance. Yeah, it is easier to maintain the core functionality and check whether the new updates fit the customizations provided with these extensions. And it's less complex than other types of delivery models in terms of design, in terms of system architecture, and in terms of arranging the DevOps. As for the SaaS model, or the software as a service model, this is the perfect one if you think about scaling on hundreds and even maybe thousands of customers. But once again, it is mostly focused on SMB segment or some small service for a big group of customers. And you keep in mind that when you grow and when you scale, you can meet quite complex DevOps issues, yeah, because when you go to scaling, the first point which stacks is a database, and you need to split it between the tenants. And here, this is the place where technical complexity begins. And what's more is that let's say, hard is that you need to balance the workload between different instances of the application when you go above 1,000 of simultaneous users, and this is also more complex in terms of system architecture. And you can opt in for the self-hosted model, as I named it, if your customers are more, let's say, stick to keeping the source code of your application. And there are a lot of per customer, per client customizations. But still, Jmix can help you with the composite project concept, but you need to invest in designing the solution, and especially in designing the proper splitting it into modules within their bounded context. By the way, we are going to deliver a special guide demonstrating some general approaches about splitting your digital solution to modules in autumn this year to help you step in this modular design, because it's quite a tricky thing how to isolate those contexts inside one application. In case you meet difficulties on the actual phase of developing your product, you can always ask our service team to assist. We can assist you with the solution design on the primary stage if you're considering Jmix as a foundation of your product. When I help you with sizing, it always can be it often can be quite a tricky thing, because for sure you are going to deploy your applications in the cloud, and this is always about expenses. We can help you with allocating the team to help you assist with your project development and all other types of services, including the training. The training can also help in the very beginning when you just starting your project, because it can avoid the pitfalls which you can usually meet when starting a new project without, let's say, a particular knowledge about how Jmix can be implemented. We often meet projects and products where teams started in some insane mode, and they made their first applications incredibly fast. But they didn't read the documentation at all and made a lot of mistakes in the very beginning. So in this particular case, some basic consultancy in the very beginning about how to arrange your application in terms of solution design and which patterns should be implemented better than other is very helpful, and it can avoid additional expenses and costs on the support phase or in the phase of scaling your application in future. So I'm ready for the questions and answers section. If you have some questions related to the topic I've demonstrated today, I'm ready to answer. Yeah, I see. I see our community members. Hello to everyone who listened to me today. Hope this content was useful to you. I know that this content is not rocket science, but I also recognize, I face the issue that sometimes even teams who are using Jmix for years, they don't know anything about the extension model. Yeah, this is quite a tricky thing by far. Well, I see there are no questions. I hope that the webinar was quite easy to. It was quite easy to understand the material. The material which I've demonstrated. I hope that the links I've shared to you, you will find the links I've shared with you useful. And in case you need assistance with your products or projects, please. You can claim us our service team, and we will assist you with your project initiative on the primary stages. It will help. It will definitely help you to avoid potential pitfalls. Thank you very much for listening our webinar today. Hope to see you soon. Next webinar, which we will arrange in July, will be dedicated to the Jmix 2.6 release. You will see a lot of new features. As usual, we'll demonstrate them in live mode during the webinar. Hope to see you soon. See you next time. Bye-bye.